of the following subjects: personnel, attorney-client privilege, student matters. It is anticipated that the executive session will take approximately 60 minutes. The board may take action during public session. The board shall return to public session following the executive session at approximately 7 p.m. The minutes of the executive session shall be released to the public when the reason for the executive session no longer exists. Do I have a motion to go into executive?
Make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are in executive. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, we're here a little late. We were talking on personnel. So with that said, we'll move on. At this time, I will open up the public portion for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up and state where you're from. What?
Take a quick motion to reopen. the public
Oh,
session.
I'm sorry. I'm so. Do I have a motion to go back into open?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I apologize. At this time now, I will open up the public session. Anyone wishing to speak, please come state your name and where you're from. Agenda items only. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Mark Fernandez, 114 Locust Street. I'd like to speak on agenda item number 3.
Excuse me, Mr. Fernandez, can you speak into the mic just so we can hear you? Thank you.
I'd like to speak on item number 3. A Board of Education shall renew the employment contract of a certified or non-certified officer or employee only upon the recommendation of the chief school administrator, also known as a superintendent, and by a recorded roll call majority vote of full membership of the board. The board shall not withhold its approval for arbitrary or capricious reasons. A non-tenured officer or employee who is not recommended for renewal by the chief school administrator shall be deemed non-renewed. Prior to notifying the officer or employee of the non-renewal, the chief school administrator shall notify the board of the recommendation not to renew the officer's employee contract or the reasons for the recommendation. An officer or employee whose employment contract is not renewed shall have the right to a written statement of reasons for non-renewal pursuant to Section 2 of PL 1975, Section 132, C, Section 18A, 27-3.2, and an informal appearance before the board. The purpose of this appearance shall be to permit the staff member to convince the members of the board to offer reemployment. The CSA shall notify the officer or employee of the non-renewal pursuant, where applicable, to the provisions of the section.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Michael Ann Regan, 134 Sheridan. Today, I stand before you to address a matter of the utmost importance, the contract renewal of Ms. Hanau. It deeply troubles me that any member of the Board of Education would contemplate voting against the renewal of her contract. Allow me to shed some light on why Ms. Hanau deserves our unwavering support. First and foremost, Ms. Hanau is an exceptional principal who has consistently demonstrated her commitment to the betterment of our educational community. Her tireless efforts to enhance social emotional learning at Robert Gordon School by promoting diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging are commendable. Countless peer-reviewed studies have conclusively shown that implementation of SEL programs in schools yields significant improvements in academic outcomes. Ms. Hanau has made it her mission to create an environment that fosters these essential values, and we have witnessed the positive impact it has had on our students. It is disheartening and quite frankly shameful that there are members on this board who are considering not renewing her contract. Such actions reflect a recurring pattern of indifference towards our children and a lack of support for our schools and staff. Furthermore, these individuals seem to disregard the potential burden on taxpayers that may result from their ill-considered decisions. We must ask ourselves, are these qualities we expect from our elected representatives? It is incumbent upon any member of this board who cannot set aside personal agendas for the greater good of our students and community to seriously consider resigning. Our children deserve leaders who prioritize their well-being and educational success above all else. The renewal of Ms. Hanau's contract is a pivotal decision, one that will shape the trajectory of our educational system and the lives of our students. Sorry, I can't get my paper separated. Let us not lose sight of the fundamental purpose of your roles as board members to advocate for the best interests of our children and to support the dedicated educators who work tirelessly to provide them with a quality education. I implore each and every one of you to consider the long-term consequences of your vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Edward Gade, 710 Hamilton Place, Roselle Park. Appointments, agenda number 1. Good pick for Miss Goyce, affirmative officer. Along with her being superintendent, she's gonna do great things. Open-minded, equal distancing, and really doing great as superintendent. For Mr. Attila, I think he's appointed to too many positions. And I think that's gonna be, these positions are not relatively related. It's gonna be, let him work under pressure and lose focus. We must look into this. And also addenda item 2, good combination, Ms. Correga, principal, exactly as I said, she's the best candidate. Ms. Melo, she's an excellent teacher. She deserves a position as a principal assistant. Mr. Foy, middle school did great job this year, and I'm expecting more success with this team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Danielle Shireman, 132 East Roselle Ave. Good evening. I stand before you not just as a taxpaying citizen of Roselle Park, but also as the parent of a Robert Gordon student, a former Robert Gordon student myself, and a current educator. As educators, we look to inspire our students, encourage their development both inside and outside the school building, open their minds not only to intellectual, but also moral and social growth, help them to find their paths in life, and so much more. These tasks are extremely difficult to accomplish when the leader of that school fails to make the safety of the building a top priority, when our children are being dismissed to no one after canceled events and administration makes excuses about why communication didn't take place, when the best teachers are leaving or being moved due to speaking up to said administration on behalf of our children and the parents who don't have a firsthand knowledge as to what is going on inside the building, when the communication between the school and the parents is lackluster at best, but conveniently displayed when the image matters. I could go on all night about the chaos, but unfortunately, I don't want my child to suffer the retaliation of her mother's actions and end up in the principal's office yet again. I also don't want to be spoken down to or in a rude manner, which has happened when I have gone in and spoken with Ms. Hanau and presented her with my concerns as a fellow educator. If you don't agree with her, she becomes aggressive, almost to the point of confrontational, because you are questioning her methods. I have put myself in her shoes and would think that she would be welcoming the opportunity to learn from failures and missteps that have taken place to better display to the students at Robert Gordon that just because we face a challenge does not mean we back down. We meet each challenge with determination and a positive attitude, even if the solution is not one specific to her personal agenda. The saying goes, it takes a child to raise a village. It takes a village to raise a child. Robert Gordon is losing that village, and Ms. Hanau is the one pushing away all those who want to truly benefit our children. If we are looking for the best principal to foster relationships with all families, improve instruction in each of our classrooms, guide our teachers to meet the needs of all of our children, and create a vision of academic success for all, unfortunately, in my opinion, Mrs. Hanau is not that leader. I truly hope the board is listening with open ears and chooses to make the best decision for all of our Robert Gordon children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Frankie Vitale, 718 Chestnut Street. I just wanted you guys to know that Frankie, before we came here, we said, you don't have to do this, Frank, but she cried and said she wanted you guys to hear her. We thought that maybe she was too young to do this, but she said, I need them to hear her. I need them to hear me say this. So she's going to read what she wrote. I was forced. Want me to read it for you? I was forced to be in my classroom with a student who threw chairs. I was forced to stay inside for recess and lunch and Halloween parade because I told them I was scared, but they didn't let me switch classes. They forced me to stay in my class when I was scared. Mrs. Hanau picked me up and put me on my floor. And that's what you guys wanted you to know, her experience in the school so far.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. First, I wanted to make a mention about number 23. It has the marching band schedule for the high school. I saw that on May 15th, 2024, the annual Fireman Memorial Service is missing from that.
I'm sorry, can we just have your name?
Kathleen, Roselle Park, Kathleen
Thank you.
Piva, Roselle Park. So number 23 is missing the Fireman Annual Memorial Service. It's on May 15th, 2024. And just want to make sure that does get added onto the list. Okay. Also for number 3, speaking on my own personal experience and my children's experience at Robert Gordon. I spoke at previous meetings about Mrs. Hanau that she has not had disciplinary action or problems in regards to that. Effectively increased reading levels for 58 students in 6 months. 30% of the children exited the reading intervention program and were reading at grade level. Eliminated the 10 to 20% achievement gap that existed for years between 3rd and 5th grade students with the other elementary schools. Increased parent and student engagement by over 50%. The events have been selling out. They have a huge family turnout. She obtained new grants for the school. They celebrated the Week of the Young Child. She was on the front page of the Roselle Park Monthly newspaper, May 2023. RenataMedia.com had an article specifically talking about Mrs. Hanau on March 24th, 2023 with all of her accomplishments. And on May 5th, she received the Distinguished New Jersey Diversity and Education Award. For the past 6 months, I've been coming with several other parents in regards to our personal experience. Everyone has their own experience, but with the prior principals that were at the school were clearly subpar. One of them was harassing other teachers. One of them was not paying for a family member to be in district, which is completely and utterly unethical. My daughters and I have never had a problem with Mrs. Hanau, and again, wanted to come to show my support for her. I want to make sure that the board does in fact make a justified, rational decision, does not make their decision based on a personal experience from a family member or one individual person. It needs to be an honest and formal decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susie Biamonte and I live in Roselle Park. I want to thank the board for all their hard work and for taking time to review agenda information in advance and make decisions based on all the children and what's in their best interests. Nothing should be political tonight. Please use the information to vote down the Robert Gordon Principal's contract renewal. RG staff, students, and families deserve much better. They deserve an honest leader who won't cause a divide and who will be for all the children, not someone who is making accusations of staff and students' families being racist when their comments against white staff and students' claims aren't. Not someone who doesn't have control of the safety of the building and allows people in and out and didn't have the doors locked for over a year until an incident this fall happened when she finally followed suit and locked things down. But to date, she still doesn't check that everyone is out of the building during drills, and classroom doors are always closed with no way of seeing in. Not someone who had a fake award created for her. Not someone who can't admit they are wrong. She puts blame on other staff, parents, students instead of taking accountability for her own actions. Not someone who doesn't know how to schedule after school activities, bands, chorus, art, all on the same day and told others the arts aren't for everyone. Kids have to choose. Not someone who has recently violated the staff HIPAA and exposed all their personal information, including medications and doctors, in a shared Robert Gordon Google Drive document they all share. Not someone who wanted mindful eating with no talking at lunch this year, had a lunch lady scream in a student's ear, said she spoke to students on the fence, which is illegal for behavior issues, on how they can improve and not talk so they don't lose recess the next day. Not someone who didn't want Christmas tree 2 years ago at school and couldn't say happy Halloween, had to be cast a characters parade, or happy Valentine's Day, just be kind. Not someone who doesn't put families first. All she cares about is creating false graphs and charts and tweaking numbers for her scores and shading different graphs differently because she thinks she could get over on people with creative wording. Not someone who doesn't care when a staff member goes to her office and says, my child's sick, I need to pick them up. What do the other principals in town say and do? Don't worry, go, I'll cover you. Not at Robert Gordon. It's beneath her to go in a classroom or lend a helping hand and say family first. She says, how long can you wait wait because I have to find coverage. Not someone who was driven away close to 20 employees, whether they retired early from being mistreated or they were moved to another school because she labeled her current staff hired under previous administration the bad girls club and made examples out of some and transferred them to another school in a position they were overqualified for. Why? Because she wanted to hire her friends, just like she was brought in. For those of you who don't know, our RG principal was hired by her bestie, our ex-business administrator, and was bragging at her family and friend barbecue how she was hired to clean up and fix the school as a favor to her friend. How about the 2 teachers who left this year, who only had a years to retire, few years? Their mental health was suffering so bad by the toxic work atmosphere and evil boss they had. What a shame. A place they called home. And I don't like false rumors being spread. They did not care about their long commutes to work. They were miserable, and doctors even said, leave, it's unhealthy. RG deserves the chance for well-qualified and certified people to interview, to make themselves heard and stop the divide that this person has created. I personally went to her last year and she raised her voice at me, screamed, banged, slammed her hands on the desk, yelled at me and said, this is my school. You will not question me or ask me anything
I'm
other than
sorry, your
PTA.
time is up.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no more, I will move into the agenda. Under personnel, agenda items 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going already here. Okay, committee reports.
President Harms, I have a committee report. May I?
Yeah.
Thank you. Last month, CPAG met and we met virtually, and Ms. Tina Hernandez, an LDTC at Roselle Park School District, provided a presentation on how to support reading at home for our parents. This mini workshop was filled with so many great ideas for parents to try at home with their children. The next CPAG meeting will be next Thursday, June 15th at 6:30, and it will be held outside at the Sensory Playground near Aldine Circle. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee reports?
President Harms, I have a report. The Board Operations Committee had a meeting earlier this month where we reviewed the suggestions provided by our policy development firm. The review was meant to ensure that we were in compliance with state standards in regards to our policies, and it's customary to do this every few years. A few of the policies were updated with slight tweaks, such as the social media policy. And right now, the Board Operations Committee is doing a complete review, and then we'll send it to the rest of the entire board for approval before the start of the school year. Also, I would like to remind my fellow board members that the Union County School Board Association is currently gathering information on different topics that you would like to talk about in the next coming school year. So if you have anything that you believe other board members, including our board, need to be trained on, please let me know. And then also, I would like to congratulate the incoming members of the Sherman PTA and thank the outgoing members for all the work all the work that they have done on behalf of our children. And also, Sherman is having their Carnival Day tomorrow, which I'm sure all the kids are excited about. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee reports?
Yes, President Harms, I just want to remind everybody that did order the Little Caesars pizza kits district-wide, that the pickup is this Friday, 4 to 6. We do not have anywhere to store them, so if you do not pick them up, someone else is going to unfortunately be donated. So they're at Aldine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? Hearing none, we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Garrido.
Thank you, Mr. Harms. I have no report to present tonight. Thank you.
Wow, way to go. Yeah, real short. Since he doesn't have anything, we'll move on to the under personnel agenda items 1 through 22 and addenda items 1 through 4, and also a hand carried resolution. No, I'll do that last, right? Or should I do it first? Either way. Okay, this is the hand carried. This is for Maria Marmello. She will be an ESY consultant per diem at $500 a day, starting July 1st for 7 days. She started the ESY program, so we're allowing her to run it because it's only the week. So we're allowing her to do it. That's on the hand carried resolution. Bless you. On number 1 is appointments. 2 is substitute salaries. 3 is staff list. 4 is employment contracts. 5 is retirement compensation. That's why you had nothing to say. 6 is staff appointments. 7 is intern affiliation agreement. 8, mentors. 9, professional development. 10, educational field trip requests. 11, staff resignation. 12, maternity leave of absence. 13, summer credit recovery program 2023. 14, 2023 summer credit recovery program staff. 15, additional Title I AP pre-test tutoring. 16, AP Summer Institute Training attendance request. 17, curriculum writing. 18, ELA curriculum writing. 19, high school and middle school coaches 2023 to 2024. 20, summer technology help. 21, additional staff extended school year 2023. 22, summer camp staffing list. And the agenda items 1 through 4. Number 1 is maternity leave replacement. 2, change of assignments, transfers. And 3 is responsive classroom training, revised list. And 4 is professional development preparation. I did that. Okay.
Mr. President, I would like to request that we separate under the addenda number 2, Juliana Mello, and under the agenda number 3, Elise Hanau from the consent agenda, and vote on hers and both of them separately.
Okay, who, can you repeat the names, please?
Addenda number 2, Juliana Mello,
Right, okay.
and agenda 3, Elise Hanau.
Okay, just so everybody knows, we will vote on the remainder of the items. And we will do these 2 particular ones separately. Do I hear a motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a roll call, please.
Vice President Biomonte,
Okay, we're voting on all the 1 through 22 minus Mello and Hanau.
Yes.
Susan Carstone,
Yes.
Lucy Figueredo,
Yes.
Dr. Brittany Kirkland,
Yes.
Cindy Mago,
Yes.
Jennifer McCarr,
Yes.
Chris Monroe,
Yes.
Constance Quintella,
Yes.
President Harms.
Yes. All right, we will do under that item 2, Ms. Mello. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Can,
Okay, roll call, please. I'm just gonna make sure that we're doing this right. A yes is to appoint, a no is not to. I just want to make sure we're doing that, okay?
That's correct, Mr. President.
Thank you.
And this is a motion on addenda to Ms. Mello, correct?
Yes,
Mr. Harms, aren't you supposed to have discussion?
I'm sorry.
Don't we need to have discussion?
This is procedurally the correct time for discussion. However, I will caution the board that this is a personnel item, so any substantive discussion about the merits of the individual should be discussed in a closed executive session. Nothing beyond, nothing specific to the individual could be discussed in public.
Okay, any discussion?
It's nothing in regards to the individual. I have no problem with the individual. I just have a problem with the process. The job was not posted for interviews. So I feel that it should have been. That's all.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Vice President Bymonte,
Yes.
Susan Carstorm,
Yes.
Lucy Figueredo,
Yes.
Dr. Brittany Kirtland,
Yes.
Cindy Maggle, Jennifer McCarr,
Yes.
Chris Monroe,
Yes.
Constance Quintella,
Yes.
President Harms.
Yes. Okay, the next is Miss. Keep on hitting it, sorry. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, just to piggy off Cindy, the process for this vote was done wrong. I just want to say the process, all of the members of the board was not privy to a lot of the information. And so respectfully, we're gonna vote however we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Okay, just so we know what we're doing. A yes would be to confirm, a no would be not to. Okay, roll call, please.
Vice President Bymonte,
No.
Susan Carstorm,
Yes.
Lucy Figueredo,
No.
Dr. Brittany Kirtland,
Yes.
Cindy Maggle,
No.
Jennifer McCarr,
No.
Chris Monroe,
Yes.
Constance Quintella,
No.
President Harms.
Abstain, abstain,
Abstain.
abstain.
Mr. President, I'll just note that under NJSA 18A:27-4.1, a certificated staff member requires a majority vote of the full authorized membership, which is 5 affirmative votes. The vote was 3-5-1, so the motion does not pass.
Thank you. As we move on the agenda, under education, agenda items 23 through 25. 2024 high school marching band schedule. 24 harassment, intimidation, bullying incidents. 25 education programs. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
We get the amendments 23 requested by the member of the public. Something. No, to address that.
One of the
What?
schedule was missing something.
The comment from the public about the
Oh.
marching band schedule.
Oh, the march,
Oh, the prize memorial, yes, it's the fireman's memorial.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
That was 15, yes.
We'll, on the comment on missing something on the agenda, we will make sure that it is on.
Mr. President, this could just be moved as amended, reflecting
Okay.
the commenters.
So
note.
we were talking May 23rd, May 15th.
Fireman's.
Oh, okay, 15th, okay. So we'll ask for approval on this particular one, adding the May 15th to the list. The 15th. We got May 15th down here. Okay, okay. We got it in there. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, no problem. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Vice President Bymonte,
Yes.
Susan Carstorm,
Yes.
Lucy Figueredo,
Yes.
Dr. Brittany Kirtland,
Yes.
Cindy Maggle,
Yes.
Jennifer McCarr,
Yes.
Chris Monroe,
Yes.
Constance Quintella, President Harms.
Yes. Motion carries. Under business, agenda items 26 through 43. Okay, 26, monthly certifications, 27, approval of bills, 28, approval of minutes, 29, Secretary Treasurer's Report. 30, Budget Transfers. 31, Use of Buildings and Grounds. 32, District Contract for 2023-2024. 33, Health Insurance Renewal for 2023-2024. 34, Capital Reserve. 35, Maintenance Reserve. 36, Resolution for Member Participation in Camden County Educational Services Commission, a corporate pricing system. 37, High School and Middle School Boilers Replacement Proposal Approval. 38, Approval of Certification of Implementation. 39, National Purchasing Cooperative 2022 to 2023. 40, Approval for wireless access points and staff laptops purchases for the district. 41, Approval for server cluster purchases for the district. And 42, Purchase of paging system for Sherman ES. 43, Safe Return Plan. Any discussions? Roll call, please. I'm sorry, I have a motion.
That motion,
Second.
Okay, now is there any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Vice President Biomonte,
Yes.
Susan Carstorm,
yes.
Lucy Figueredo,
Yes.
Dr. Brittany Kirkland,
Yes.
Cindy Mago,
Yes.
Jennifer McCarr,
Yes, with an abstention from number 40.
Chris Monroe,
Yes.
Constance Quintella,
Yes.
President Harms.
Yes. As we move on, we'll move on to continuing business. Do we have any? Hearing none, do we have any new business? Hearing none, right now we'll move into the public participation. Any member wishing to speak, please come forward, state.
I can make a statement on that.
Okay, yeah, it's not written down here, so I.
On the Save Return Plan, I just want everyone to, just clarification, it's a plan is post-pandemic that the state is required to. There hasn't been any changes whatsoever in the past year and a half, after the pandemic. I just want to, just to let you know and clarify that. Thank you.
Okay, it wasn't written down. I didn't really have to say anything. No problem. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and where you're from, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Mrs. Perez, Roselle Park, New Jersey. I wanted to say thank you to the Board of Ed volunteers for serving this school year. I know it hasn't been easy and there's been a lot of stuff, but I appreciate you. We would like to wish all dads a wonderful Father's Day. I am thankful for all the people that have reached out to help and tend to the Robert Gordon Garden this summer. Special thanks to our Girl Scout group troop 40070. Our planting day was rescheduled. Just wanted to let everyone know, but we will be planting this week. Congratulations to all of Roselle Park's Teachers of the Year. I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow and having a fun dinner and collaborating with our team. A huge congratulations to our Roselle Park graduates. We are so proud of you. Please don't let any of the shenanigans steer your way. A salute to our hometown heroes. It was great seeing a lot of them at the Memorial Day Parade. I was asked, why do you speak Spanish at the meetings? The answer was very simple, because I'm bilingual. And I want to show my students how beautiful the bilingual brain is, despite the narrative people want us to believe. I encourage everyone on this board, if you know another language, when you do your reports, please use it. I know a song in Creole. I know a French song. I know a song in Gujarati. And I had to do all that to reach my students so that they knew I can connect with them. So please, if you can, let's do it. As best said by Nicolette Sauter, gardens and children need the same thing: patience, love, and someone that will never give up on them. Gracias a todos que escogieron ser voluntarios en esta junta para el año escolar. Les quiero desear un feliz día a todos los padres en su día especial. Muchas gracias a todos los que conectaron conmigo para ayudar a mantener el jardín de Robert Gordon. Este verano va a ser un verano muy lindo. Gracias a la tropa 40070 por siempre ayudar. El día de sembrar fue cambiado y estaremos haciéndolo en la próxima semana. Felicidades a todos los maestros del año y queremos que disfruten de su día mañana. No puedo esperar compartir con ustedes. Felicidades a todos los estudiantes de Roselle Park que se gradúan este año. Estamos súper orgullosos de ustedes. Gracias a nuestros héroes de Roselle Park, me encantó verlos en el desfile de Memorial Day. Alguien me preguntó, ¿por qué tú hablas español en las reuniones? La respuesta fue simple. Porque soy bilingüe y les quiero enseñar a mis estudiantes que ser bilingüe es algo maravilloso. Aunque mucha gente le dirá lo opuesto. Apoyo a todos en esta junta que son bilingües que den sus reportes con cualquier lenguaje que tengan. Si pueden. Un jardín es lo que los niños y los jardines son lo mismo.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Marissa Cintron, 425 Walnut Street. I'd like to go ahead and clear the air. I want to introduce myself. Like I said, my name's Marissa. I have a family member on the Board of Education. As some of you like to reference my employment with the district in effort to discredit the members sitting before you on the board, I want to give you some facts about myself. I'm a para working in the preschool disabled class who, like most paras, make $17.25 an hour. I am not, nor have I ever worked for Robert Gordon. I have also never had a negative interaction with Ms. Now, and I have never discussed her tenure or her contract renewal with my sister, ever. I'm a member of Robert Gordon's PTA board, in which I volunteer countless hours of my time in the school, just as every member before you has volunteered so much of their time for the children in our district without compensation and without the appreciation that they deserve. I ask that before you use me as a tool to make any board member appear that there is some type of conflict of interest, you actually try to know the facts that you are speaking about instead of reaching for anything you can to make them appear that they have unfair motives for their decisions that they make. It is truly sad that some of you in the audience will ignorantly say so much without knowledge of anything that is going on. Thank you for your time, and thank you to the board for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Michael and Regan, Roselle Park. As we gather here today during Pride Month, it is important to reflect on the origins of this celebration. Pride emerged as a protest, a cry for equality and justice. It remains a protest because discrimination and prejudice persist in our society. Today, I stand before you to remind you of a pressing issue within our own community. Board member Gemma Carr's actions and discriminatory rhetoric against the LGBTQIA+ students and other members of our school community are not only concerning, but potentially harmful to the mental well-being of these vulnerable individuals. The Trevor Project's research reveals a distressing statistic. 73% of LGBTQ+ youth have experienced discrimination based on their sexual orientation or gender identity at least once in their lifetime. Alarming still, those who face discrimination were found to attempt suicide at a rate more than twice as high as those who did not. Regrettably, it doesn't end there. Other members of the BOE have publicly expressed their support for Gemma Carr, clearly aligning themselves with her discriminatory beliefs. As elected officials, board members are entrusted with the responsibility of safeguarding and nurturing the development of our children. It is disheartening to witness some board members advocating for what they label parents' rights, while conveniently ignoring the rights of parents like me. I too am a parent. I have the right to raise my children in an environment that fosters inclusivity, respect, acceptance, yet voices of these board members actively discriminate against me and my family, creating an atmosphere that perpetuates harm rather than support. This is not a plea to silence those with differing viewpoints or deny anyone their right to free expression. It is, however, a call for the board to reassess their role as elected officials. It is a demand for them to prioritize the welfare of all students, irrespective of their sexual orientation or gender identity. We must work towards a school system that promotes understanding, empathy, and respect for diversity. The school board should actively seek opportunities to educate themselves and implement policies that protect and uplift the LGBTQIA+ students. It is time for all members of the board to acknowledge their responsibility to the entire community they serve, including parents like me who demand a safe and nurturing environment for our children. Let us not forget the roots of Pride Month, the struggle for equality, and the ongoing fight against discrimination. As we celebrate and support our LGBTQIA+ students this month, let us strive to create an inclusive educational environment where every child feels seen, valued, and supported.
Thank you.
Vanessa Costa, Roselle Park. I stand here before you advocating for my son Christopher due to issues I never imagined would occur from his mentor. It is unfortunate to see someone like Coach Salamanca think it's okay to make fun, name call, bully, both to my son's face in front of his teammates. It is a shame knowing you are okay with this type of humiliating behavior. I had a private conversation with Coach Sal, which he stated he would apologize and never did. Pulling my son out of class to have a private meeting without my consent. Your apology was not genuine, and as a matter of fact, didn't even come out off the opposite. My son looked up to you, laughed with you, but instead you thought it was okay to put him down, making him feel unworthy in being on the baseball team. Your harsh and demanding words tore down his confidence and made him think, as I coped, what Coach Sal's words were, a fucking retard and a moron, as you often like to call him. Coach Sal was made aware that my son was dealing with anxiety, depression, and thought it was okay for all the name calling. As a parent, I refuse to stand by and witness this behavior from Coach Sal. It is unacceptable, and I demand justice for Christopher. I ask that disciplinary action be taken against Coach Sal, this man that is supposed to be a teacher, mentor, and professional, which he clearly has shown none of the above. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Henry Eugenia, Roselle Park. That was my wife. To be clear, Chris never wanted us to confront this. He was not the one that told us about Coach. It was his friends. I asked Chris if he wanted me to confront Coach, and he said no, he wants to play. He was worried about the backlash, which is a little sad. But after he did not apologize for the first incident, instead, like my wife said, he called him a moron. Who cannot let that go? I understand the board is here to look at the facts and make a decision. Well, the fact is that Coach admitted to calling my son those names, and did not apologize until it was brought up to the board. I hope you truly do care about protecting these children. Mr. Harms, my first conversation with you was at a football game, and I had no idea you were in part of the board or that you were running for the board. I got into the car with my wife and I said, wow, this guy gets it. You know, he does truly care about the kids. I really hope you do. Just like any of you, I hope you do try to protect your kids, grandsons, nephews, children, as we are doing right now. But I assure you that this one probably will not happen to any of your children. You know, I hope the right decision is made. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Fernandez, 114 Locust Street. I'd like to first say that I have no animosity to any parent in this room. I am close to a lot of the parents on the school board here in this section. We live together, we work together, we have carnivals together, our kids play together. And what's most angering tonight is not whether you voted yes or no at all, right? But we've known what was going to happen today since January. This wasn't a secret. I spoke to Lucy before she became a school board member and knew she was going to say no, right? I knew Jen McCarr was going to say no because she's just a Republican, right? Why would you have 3 school board members have a different opinion when you didn't bring them all into a room and say, here's the problem, how can we solve this? It took 6 months because you were waiting for today to happen and you were hoping it was just going to go away on a day where people weren't working or kids weren't in school. All I'm saying is going forward, this board needs to change their behavior. They need to get into executive and talk these things out. Whether everyone on the board said no today or yes today, whatever it is, you need to have conversations. This board is no longer having conversations.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Noah Regan. I live at 134 Sheridan Avenue, and my mom is Michael Ann Regan over there. And adding on to what he said, as a trans kid myself, I feel like it's like not like okay to be like to like try and strip rights away from these kids. And like 43% have attempted suicide and about 81 have considered it, which is kind of scary numbers if you think about it. Like, because the national suicide rate is at like even attempting it is like at like somewhere between 1% and 5%. It's a very low number, but considering 81 out of all these people, 81%, it's like a big number. And I've been bullied a lot, and honestly it's just like it's just annoying. Like I'm just trying to live my life and people are just trying to strip my rights away from me, and it's just like it's kind of stupid because I'm not bothering anyone. I'm just trying to live. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm sure you know my name by now, but it's Marielle, and I live on Chestnut Street. I'm just here to remind all the LGBTQ plus students in the room once again that they're loved, and to personally wish you, Jen McCarr, happy Pride Month. I've done a lot of praying for you this month, and I hope you really enjoy it this month. Thank you.
Goodis, Berwyn Street, Roselle Park. Now that we have heard the good and the evil of the Roselle Park principal, and you voted exactly how I knew you would, I find myself thinking something I never thought I would. I miss Jen Osborne, our former attorney. I always disliked the way she wouldn't let you answer questions or comments, but after this fiasco, I know she would have protected the board from the lawsuit that is now coming. But you all pushed in your new attorney who would allow this to happen, so I guess we all have to deal with the consequences. Congratulations. Now for the nice. I hope I'm not ignorant. I want to thank Mr. Garrido for so many years of hard work and help. Many of us truly appreciate it. I can always say, as soon as I emailed you, you emailed me back, even when I was complaining. And I just wanted to thank you for your years of service and your strong leadership. Thank you.
Mr. President, if I could just respond to some of those accusations that were made. First, with respect to the former attorney ever critiquing a public commenter, my law firm has always maintained that any public commenter has a First Amendment right to speak at the podium, and there have been cases in New Jersey where when that right is abridged, a school district is held liable. So we certainly always allow the public to exercise their First Amendment right, as has been the case tonight and has been done in an orderly fashion. And with respect to tonight's vote, you can characterize it as chaos or negatively, but the board members did vote their conscience. As I mentioned under that statute that was cited earlier, the board does need to vote with 5 affirmative votes to reappoint a non-tenured staff member. That did not occur tonight, and so the staff member was not reappointed. I would submit that any critique that an attorney would provide advice that would force a school board member to vote a specific way rather than their conscience would not be providing good counsel to the school board itself. So I believe the board acted appropriately in its discretion tonight, and I'm confident that if there were any legal challenge to its action, that it would be upheld based upon the board's discussions, which occur in executive session, as I outlined earlier, because personnel matters cannot be discussed publicly. Thank you.
And anyone else wishing to speak?
Tina Schwartz. I live on Avon Street. I just wanted to thank Mr. Garrido for all his years of service to the kids for Roselle Park, and for always supporting the Recreation Committee. Enjoy your retirement. Thanks.
Thank you.
Edward Gade, Hamilton Place, Roselle Park. Good evening again. I want to thank all the parents that they spoke loud about their concern with Miss Hinau. I really wanted to speak to my concerns, but I was confused. Her name was not clear on the agenda. I want to add something. We had 3 principals over the past 9 school years, I guess, or maybe 10. Miss Hinau was the worst. Miss Kinney was the best. That's simply. Now, Superintendent Garrido, that's the last meeting. I wish you a nice retirement and enjoy it. I want to say finally the sun coming out. A new superintendent, and we don't want more or any power concentration, any power centers. Okay, open window policy. I believe Miss Hina will do great through her personality. The other thing, middle school, as I said, doing great. And as they choose success, choose a plan of and strategy of open minding. Robert Gordon is very bad, very bad. If you remember Mr. Harm, Ms. Karlstrom, Mr. Garrido, I raised up a file like this, June 2018. My daughter was in 4th grade, and she was abused by her teacher, misgraded. Same thing now for my other daughter in kindergarten, and more. And this is not looked at. Nobody wanna communicate with me. The teacher has no understanding. The principal is just a crossing guard. Go back to the teacher, speak to the teacher. How I speak to the teacher, and she's abusing my daughter, I'm complaining her. What's the channels? How the complaint can be processed? We need to think again about putting camera inside the classrooms. Yesterday, my daughter complained, my pre-K daughter, she fell on the block on her eye. And when I call the school, they come up with a different story. Always, when I have a complaint, they have a different story. She is, as a teacher, saying she never visits that area. How is that? So we need to know who's saying the truth, the kid or the teacher. On July 1st, I'm inviting all the parents to come in front of the board and welcome the new superintendent. It's going to be exciting. And we are the source of the power, so we need her to make sure we are empowering her for a good start. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else, I will close the public portion. Just a reminder that our next meeting is Tuesday, June 20th at 6. That should be a short one because we'll be going into closed to review the superintendent's past year. And then we will not be coming back out into open. So just to let you know, it'll be a short meeting because we do have some things to discuss before we go into closed. If there's no other comments, I'd ask for.
I have one comment. Can I say something real quick? I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Do not settle for hamburgers and hot dogs. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. Go to have that steak and lobster, and don't bring out your credit card at that time. I also want to let everybody know that well, every parent in the audience right now is that we were voted up here to protect every child, and that's what we plan to do. Unfortunately, it looks like there has been some type of division, but I promise you that we are going to get back on the same accord. That's what my plan to do on this board is. And I want you guys to hold me accountable to that. And if it doesn't happen, then you know what happens. Then don't vote me back in. But I promise you guys, we're going to get back together.
Thank you, Chris, and I agree. We will work together. Any other comments? If not, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everyone have a good night, drive home safely, and happy Father's Day.